Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
All right, Sean. Today is Tuesday. I apologize for being out yesterday, folks. My son's 22nd birthday. Had some cake, had some Portillo's, which is a Chicago thing. Good hamburgers and French fries. The crazy thing is, Portillo's, which used to be more expensive than McDonald's, is now less expensive than McDonald's, but better food. So you just like, what in the world is going on in this world where the better hamburgers are cost less than the more expensive? Man, did the Rams screw you last night or what? I would say they screwed a lot of people, probably, Drew, for sure, right? I was reading about them today, and normally we do this, Sean, on Mondays, right? What did you learn from the NFL? Because it is, the NFL is the 80% sport. It's the one that gets 80% of the action, 80%. It's the one that builds casinos in Las Vegas, sports books anyway. So let's do it, Sean. What did you learn this week in the NFL?
Well, I learned a bunch of things. One, you were right. Mike White is who he is. That's why he's not a starter.
1 week anyway.
Yeah. I learned last night, so we'll do it on Tuesday, so I get to say last night, I'm wrong about the Rams. They're not winning the Super Bowl. If they can't play a physical game, they're not going to win in the playoffs. And it also seems, I like Sean McVay as a coach, but it also seems like big games, big situations, he's one of those guys, he just chokes.
Maybe he's overrated. I've been saying for a couple of years now that, in my opinion, and I don't know, it's just him, but I think I just think some of these guys, Sean, maybe they're younger, they're smarter because they have the computer analytics and all that kind of bullshit. But because of that, they make decisions that don't make any damn sense whatsoever. But you were saying.
So go with that. Kansas City's not dead yet. I mean, if you want to, now would be the time. If you really think Kansas City's going to win the Super, now's the time to do it before they get really hot here and their odds go down if you're going to bet them. I'm not completely sold on it yet. I was actually ready to I was all over
the Raiders. So
I was totally wrong. And I was really mad at
the way you hop on bandwagons and off. I would take this with a grain of salt because next week you'll be down them again.
Well, and also I'm right about the Patriots are going to be dangerous. I mean, they just destroyed the Browns.
They absolutely smushed the Browns. Well, that's why you take an Alabama quarterback over Oklahoma quarterback.
And like we always talk about too,
especially one that's 5'9".
$100 risk-free bet on FanDuel. 3 options. I could take the under in New England, Cleveland, which I said was the best bet of the weekend. I can take New England because I thought New England was going to beat Cleveland. Or later, after I made the bet, I found the total points, and I was like, there's no way total points for Sunday is going over 585.5 or whatever it was. And it didn't. Well, like we always talk about, you take the 1 out of the 3 that was wrong, and I took the under. So, but New England is going to be.
Either that or Cleveland is much like Sean McVay.
Maybe, but I mean, they just beat them up in every aspect of the game.
So last night's game, and again, I rewind back and I really wonder. I mean, the coaches, as I've said before, he's definitely rookie of the year, no question about it. And the funny thing, he's a lot like Tom Brady. He's a little pudgy when he came out of school, right? He kind of slow-footed, that sort of thing. And you think, that kid's not going to make it. He's a little pudgy, he's a little dorky. He's not that fast, but man, the kid can make the right read and get the ball out.
Yeah, if he turns into Tom Brady, I mean, it's another long 12 years for me.
Yeah, up in here in Boston. But Boston. But Sean, let's rewind back to Sean McVay. Okay, it's the end of the first half. You're down 21-7 at the half, and you get stalled out at the 12-yard line, 8-yard. I mean, something like the 12, 15-yard line, somewhere around 15,
there. Yeah, yep.
So you're stalled out there. It's 4th and 8, 9, something like that, and it's 18 seconds left in the half, and you decide that you're going to have Johnny Heckler, whatever the hell his name is,
Johnny Heckler,
throw a pass instead of Stafford. Now I know the punter has completed a couple passes, blah 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 blah. But it seems to me, and I've said this many times, Sean, and this is true. You take the points in the first half, and you chase points starting in the fourth quarter. McVay's chasing points before halftime. If you're going to go for it, screw it. Go for it. put Stafford out on the field. Put your offense on the field, right? Spread them wide. Get Cooper Kupp lined up in the slot and a man-on-man where you can rub them off and get them all open 9 yards down the field for a potential completion, right?
Yeah.
Instead, you have the stupid punter. Not stupid, sorry. You have the punter. I mean, I'm saying is the idea is stupid, not the punter. It's the punter throwing the ball. The holder. Come on, man.
Well, it's also, I don't think it was the right time. Like, if you do that mid-second quarter, something like that, with doing it seconds left before the half, there was no real element of surprise. They weren't like all –
you just
they're up 14. They're up 14. They're not selling out for a block. Like, if you're selling out for a block and you're going to have guys wide open, that's one thing. But you needed 8-9 yards. You completed the pass, 3 yards down the field? So the guy catching it needed to run another 5. It just wasn't going to happen.
No, it's just a bad – you take the points and you chase the points in the second half.
And what's so important about ending the first half? Momentum going into that second half, and they just killed any of that.
Well, the thing is, you're going to probably need that 3 points somewhere later in the game. And what happened was there was no points. The first points in the second half for the field goal by Robbie Gould. Now you need those 3 points, right?
Yep. And there's only a few seconds left. So what's not saying they do the fake field goal, get the first down, but they're still settling for a field goal a couple plays later because they don't have enough time to get a touchdown. So it didn't really make any sense at all.
No, coaches have to take the wonder look. That's my new what do they call it? Issue.
He was desperate because they were down 2 touchdowns and they were getting their asses handed to them.
Well, first of all, they really were getting their asses handed to them. They were their ass handing themselves with all these drop passes. And then you have the one hits the Rams wide receiver between the numbers, and somehow the guy from the 49ers comes away with the ball and ends up in the end zone. I mean, that's not getting your ass handed to you. That's playing just lackadaisical football. Well,
physically, though, they were just – I mean, they could not compete. San Francisco could just hand that ball off every time, and they were going to get first down after first down and eventually get a touchdown. The thing is, the Rams are going to be one of those teams that have a ton of talent that just don't gel well together.
Well, I feel like these teams that do like they're doing, right? So, and it almost never works. You bring in Von Miller, right? And everybody has, we talked about this before, images of Von Miller just destroying Cam Newton in the Super Bowl. You bring in Odell Beckham, and everybody has visions of Odell making overhanded catches over Cowboys defensive backs. Those guys aren't those players anymore.
Right.
They're still fantastic football players. They'd smoke you and I and most 99.9% of the human population in any sport. But when you match them up against other NFL athletes, they're just not that anymore. And when you take all of these pieces and you try to start to fit them into something that was working, right? If it's not broken, don't fix it. That's the old rule. Mm-hmm. Again, these young guys, it wasn't broken. Now they're trying to fix it, and now it is broken. It's
not Madden. You just can't put people, all-stars in together and all gel together.
Because they don't keep their Madden rating.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Sean. So that wraps up the NFL. For me, what did I learn? For me, it's the same old, same old. The Cowboys are up and down. If they play well, they can beat anybody. If they don't play well, they can get smoked by anybody. I think the Eagles are on the upswing. Jalen Hurts, I think, is improving from week to week, and I think he might actually be a legitimate quarterback. Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater is Teddy Bridgewater. He'll win a couple games for you, but he's not going to take you anywhere far. I do feel like the Rams need to toughen up a little bit. They need to perhaps get some of those sticky gloves and start catching the ball, but they'll toughen up a little bit. The 49ers, Jimmy G's still in there. Arizona, Kyler Murray makes a big difference. Will the Bucs beat the Giants next week? And I don't know. Brady's looking a little old right now. He's got that old man Brady look. The TB12 ain't working. But we'll talk about that game next week, Drew. It's a tough call to me because you're going to get Saquon Barkley back. You're going to have a healthy Kenny Galladay. Not Matt Jones. What the hell's the other quarterback in New York? Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones should be. He's got some time to work on the off. So they got some time to work on things. But in the end, their offensive coordinator is still Jason Garrett. So they keep teams in the game no matter what. And
the other thing, and we can say this every week too, I mean, you almost got to go in betting on Sunday and forget what happened the weeks before. I mean, just it's to the point sometimes you can put these teams in a blender and pick out which one's going to win. It's just crazy how up and down these teams are.
Yeah, from one week to the next, for sure. It looks like Superman might be back in Carolina too.
Yeah, he looked. He's also, he only got a couple plays, but it's motivated them and it's motivated him. So, I mean, it can be dangerous for a few weeks. I don't know how well it will be long term, but I mean, it's definitely. I think Carolina needed him and he needed Carolina. So,
all right. Well, it's time for us to get dangerous, Sean. College football picks. All right, so you got 3 games in Sean's favorite conference, the midweek Max. Sean loves them, along with the everyday Big Macs.
They're not as good as they used to be. You brought up
because you can buy them at Portillo's cheaper now.
Yeah, well, I don't know what Portillo's is, but I'm sure they are better. You know what's crazy is I used to love McDonald's. Now Blake wants McDonald's all the time, and I hate when we get it. Yeah, I mean, I eat it, but it's just not as good, and the fries don't hold the heat. It's horrible.
Well, I don't want to put down McDonald's in case they want to advertise one.
That's all right.
All right. Toledo and Ohio. OHIO, Sean. This game, Toledo is favored by a touchdown and a half. Do you feel like that hook is going to kill you, or do you feel like it doesn't matter?
Well, the hook is why I like Ohio. Ohio's been playing well lately. They won 2 in a row, yeah. They run the ball. Toledo can't stop the run. I like Ohio to keep this close. I mean, they might even.
Drew says you're wrong.
Yeah, Drew will say I'm wrong. But he's getting -6. So Toledo wins by a touchdown, and we both win.
Yeah, so you're both winners. How about that? Well, here, Sean, I agree with you. Toledo can't stop the run, but they do stop teams from time to time. And Ohio can't pass the ball. Toledo can score a lot of points. Ohio can score some points too. I feel like what's going to end up happening in this game, Sean, is that the script is going to get Ohio out of the running game. And if that becomes the case, you have a matchup that heavily favors Toledo because they have they probably have the best pass defense in the MAC, I would guess. I don't know. Got to be up there. And then and the Ohio offense, when it comes to throwing the ball, is not so good. Kind of like Sean McVay at 4th down calls at the goal line. So I'm going to actually side with Drew. I'm going to give up the 7.5, Sean. So you and I are on opposite sides, and I feel horrible about that because I know I'm going to lose because Sean's better at college football than I am. But I'm going Toledo. I'm laying the 7.5. You get -110. I get -110. May the better team win.
Yeah. I just think I really like, if this was 6, I'd have a harder time taking Ohio, but I think this could be a competitive game. Ohio could even win this game. But if what your scenario is, if that happens, then yeah, I'm in trouble.
Well, looking at the bets, Sean, about 50-50 in terms of the number of bets are split between the two teams, a slight edge to Toledo. But Toledo is taking in 75 cents on the dollar. So, Sean, Drew and I are the smart money, and you are not. Western Michigan versus Eastern Michigan. So the battle of the weather vanes in Michigan, Sean. You got Eastern Michigan is getting 6 points at home. I think they've dominated this series of late, but they are the underdog at home tonight against Western Michigan. Western Michigan is laying 6. There's that 6-point line for you. Is Western Michigan going to win by 7?
They might, but Western Michigan, I mean, so there's one thing guaranteed in this. There's going to be a lot of points, so I'm going the over. Western Michigan has a really good offense. Their defense ain't all that great. Eastern Michigan's defense isn't that good, but their offense is really good. It's Tuesday. It's MAC. This one has points all over it.
Sean's going all over it. So the total here is 66, Sean, and you can do -110 for 66. I have the game coming in. It's slightly under, but I think the XL kind of underestimates the points sometimes. So I think if there's going to be an error, it would err to the upside.
As far as the spread, I would lean Eastern Michigan with the points. They're at home. Like I said, Western Michigan, and they're another one. They got a lot of talent offensively and stuff, but they don't really stop people, and sometimes they just don't come to play, especially these weird Tuesday games. So I agree with you on that. I would lean Eastern Michigan here. If you look at the two teams, Eastern Michigan scores a few more points a game than Western Michigan does, but they let up a few more points a game. So it's going to be, if it's an offensive game, then I think Eastern Michigan probably can win, maybe will cover and probably maybe even win the game outright. But if the defenses come to play a little bit, then Western Michigan has the edge in that regard. As far as the
betting is concerned, Sean, on that spot. The game itself has Western Michigan taking in approximately 40% of the bets, but the money is a little closer to 50-50 in favor of Western Michigan. As far as the total is concerned, Sean, most of the people agree with you. 70% of the tickets are on the game going over, but 3/4 of the money, once again, Sean, you're betting against the smart money tonight, so to speak. So hopefully you're smarter than the smart money.
Sometimes not.
Well, we'll find out when the game's over, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I try not to watch the games too much anymore from point to point, because I start to get a little bit like twitchy and stuff. It drives me bananas.
But these MAC games, though, during the week, they're fun to watch. I mean, you're not used to watching football on Tuesday, so anything on Tuesday is good, especially when they put up the points.
Yeah. I like that hard hitting. I want to see guys get knocked out. I want to see them like Friday knocked out. Bowling Green versus Miami of Ohio. This is a game, Sean, where Miami of Ohio is at home. They're laying 17 points. I was trying to look at Bowling Green and say maybe Bowling Green might be a play. Take the points. And as I went through it, I said no chance. And I don't want to take Miami of Ohio laying 17 either, but they've demolished Bowling Green over the last couple of years.
Yeah, so usually I don't find a MAC game during the week that I don't like. Well, I found it here. I don't like this one at all. Bowling Green's played weird. I mean, they're usually the underdog. They were covering okay, and then they got demolished last week. They're a team that went into Minnesota and won like 10-6, and then they're losing to some of these MAC teams by like 40 points. So I can't figure it out. I don't want to lay 17 with Miami of Ohio, but I also don't trust Bowling Green at all. So I'll take 2 out of 3 tonight and leave this game alone.
I don't blame you. The total here is 52.5, Sean, or 51.5 to 52, depending upon what you want. I have the game going slightly under as well in this spot. I'm with you. About 40% of the tickets are on Bowling Green. About 40% of the money's on Bowling Green. So Miami is taking the majority of the money and the majority of the bets. And much like my Excel sheet, almost 70. This is a big change between the two. Almost 70% of the tickets, Sean, are on the over, but over about 85 cents on the dollar is on the under. So that has the biggest variance between the tickets and the money. So there's a lot of big bets on the under in this game, Sean.
My concern there would be 52 points is awfully low for a MAC game, and Bowling Green can give up a ton of points. So that'd be my concern there.
Yeah, those Tuesday games are my concern too. We'll come back to the NCAA because there's too many games. We'll just go with what you want to go with and what I want to go with. Well, let's move over to the association now, and that's the NBA. Sean, we have 3 games. Probably the marquee matchup of the night. Well, 2 of them I think are kind of marquee matchups, but one not so much with the Philadelphia team all sidelined thanks to COVID, but Golden State versus Brooklyn. Golden State is getting 3 points on the road against the Brooklyn Nets. Who do you like?
I like Brooklyn here. This looks like a game that Brooklyn's going to really show up and want to win. I mean,
there you go. The state games again, huh?
Well, no, I know it's just some of these teams, they wait till the big matchups, then they play. I think Brooklyn really shows up tonight. They're not lazy and just barely beats a team or something like that.
They're playing very well right now. But, I mean, Golden State's one of the better teams out of the box so far this year, too.
They are. But I think Brooklyn at home in a big game here. They won't be lazy. Harden will chase after the ball and not leave the other guy pick it up and dunk it. I'll give up the 2.5, 3. Golden State's going to be a very good team, but they're not going to be just crazy. What are they, like 11-2 now? Like, they're not going to be that great. So I think Brooklyn in the end is going to be a better team. And I think it's, it starts tonight in a statement game.
Statement game. Sean is 0 for 40 in statement.
Everybody is. You know what? We make a bigger deal about that than the players do. But honestly, sometimes in the NBA, though, I think it does mean something because some of these players, when they're playing the Houstons of the world or, stuff like that, they don't really show up. So I think they show up tonight.
Yeah, I think it'd be a competitive game, probably on TV, right? So everybody's watching. Guys are going to show off their skills. I'm leaning Brooklyn too, Sean. The total in this game is, but I'm not taking them. Total is 222. 220. Yeah, it's up a little bit from 221. As far as the the way it works out for me. I do have actually have Golden State covering, but I just feel like Brooklyn is the better team. I have the game going 221, so like right on the number, 53% of the time going under. So I can't play it either way. I would probably lean Golden State, but I won't take them because I do agree with you. I feel like Brooklyn probably wins this game. Yeah, so they may or may not want to make a statement, but they're going to win the game, I suspect.
You say I'm -3?
-3 for minus. So you're getting -3. You're getting +3 for Golden State at -109. Oh, no, you're getting -3 at -105. So you're doing all right with that with Brooklyn. And then as far as the money and the bets are concerned, Sean, 60% of the tickets are on the Warriors and 70% of the money is on the Warriors. Most of the money and most of the tickets are on the over, but a big chunk of the money, 3/4 of the money is on the under. So again, a big variance between bets and bucks.
I do think Vegas has caught up, though. I mean, they're starting to set these totals a little bit lower, and now some of them are going over. This 222 is pretty
right in the middle.
Yeah, and it's pretty low for these two teams that do want to score points. I would lean the over here.
Yeah, I have the game going slightly under by 1 point. I mean, what's 1 point? It can go either way. One missed free throw, one made free throw. The game goes under or over. The 76ers, the depleted 76ers, travel out to Utah, Salt Lake City, where you can't do a damn thing after dark because everything is closed. At least it was when I was there many moons ago. So the depleted Sixers heading off to Utah, a team that's going to be involved for the championship. Both could by the end of the year. 10 points too many, Sean?
It might be. I mean, Utah's been in this situation a couple times, and I mean, they've lost 1 or 2 games being 10-point favorites, and sometimes they don't cover too.
If you're losing, you're a 10-point favorite. I think that means you didn't cover.
Well, but
I could be wrong. I'll have to Google it, but
there's other games they've covered and won, but they haven't covered. So I would lean Philly here with the points. I mean, they got some young players that's been playing for a week now. So I would probably lean Philly, but
they just started playing basketball a week ago.
Well, no, but I'm saying they're stepping up, playing for Embiid and a couple other players that's been out. So
I was going to say, man, I thought I had a chance. I could pick up the ball. Not out there.
So I would lean Philly, but I'm not going to officially take that.
Yeah, I want to take Philly too. The computer program, the Excel says this game should be a 1 bucket game. Philadelphia is only has 2 losses on the road. In the years past, winning on the road was Philadelphia's difficult part. They would dominate at home and be just a completely different basketball team on the road. But I can't bet it with all these guys out because I can see Utah winning this game by 10 points. The total in this game, Sean, is 216 and a half, right? 216 and a half. The line's moving up a little bit. Once again, I have a stupid soccer tie, Sean. I have them coming in at 217, so I can't bet it. A half a point difference one way or the other. It's a 50-50 line across the board. Any thoughts on the over-under?
No, I agree with you. I looked at the total, and I was like, I can't do much with that. That's about, it could go either way. I mean, maybe leaning under, but 216, I don't trust it either way on that one.
Most of the tickets believe that the Sixers in 10 is too many because a little bit more than half the tickets are on the Sixers, but 70 cents on the dollar is bet on Jazz. So some really big money bets on the Jazz. As far as the total is concerned, this is a flip around. Most of the tickets are on the under, but most of the money is on the over, which it's been the other way most of the day today. Most of the money is on the over. Most of the tickets are on the under. So a little bit of a different thought process, I guess, for the Philadelphia Utah game. Finally, only a 3-game night in the NBA, Sean. The San Antonio Spurs head off to visit the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers were playing really, really well, and then they lost a game to the surging upstart Chicago Bulls by 10. But I think the Bulls might be a lot better than people are giving them credit for. They got some really good players on the Bulls. I don't think they have what would you call if you had a scoring system of 10 of 10. I mean, DeMar DeRozan's probably the highest, and I'd give him like a 9.3.
I would say Levine's the highest.
He doesn't play defense, though.
Yeah.
So you got to.
You're right about DeRozan. I mean, he's it's a resurgence in Chicago. I mean, he's scoring 25. It seems almost every night.
So I don't think they have like a superstar, But what they do have is they probably have the most 9 out of 10 point players in the starting lineup in the East, particularly. So I think a lot of folks haven't caught up to the Bulls yet. San Antonio versus the Clippers. So can the Clippers bounce back? And the line opened up at 6.5, Sean. It's moved to 7.5. And looks like some of the money is favoring. Well, let's get into it. Do you like either squad here?
I'm not going to take any officially. I feel like it's too many points. I've been leaning San Antonio. Clippers, they have been playing better and well, but I'm not intimidated by them, and I just feel like 7.5 is too much as long as San Antonio is another team, though. They can come out and really have a hard time scoring and stuff. As long as their shots are falling, they'll hang in this game. I mean, they could even win this game. I just felt like 7.5 was too many.
They could probably win this game, Sean. I don't feel like 7.5 is too many. I'm actually going to take the Clippers. They have, I think they have the advantages where it matters. They play a little bit better. They play much better defense than San Antonio does. I feel like they have the clutch player in Paul George. Mm-hmm. I expect that their offenses are pretty similar. So I feel like offensively it's a tie. Defensively, the Clippers play a little more cohesive as a unit. They're better at making their free throws and those clutch plays down the stretch. So I feel like I think this will be like one of those games, Sean, where it's 4 or 5 points with like a minute and a half to go, and the free throws get the Clippers over the line. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Clippers -7.5, Sean, and I can do that for -110.
Okay. So now you want the fouls.
Well, yeah, because I'm on the favorite.
Yep.
Yeah, so when you're on the underdog, you don't want the foul. What you want is the big – really what I want is I want the Clippers to be up by like 15 and there's no free throws at the end. I don't have to worry about it. That my guess of what the game might play out like, I don't want that to happen. So as far as the money and bets are concerned, so the Clippers are taking in 3/4 of the money, of the bets, and over 80 cents on the dollar. So there's some agreement there in terms of the bettors and the money. And as far as the total is concerned, Sean, this flips just like the game and most of the money is on the over. And most of the tickets are on the over. 2/3 of the tickets are on the over, but 2/3 of the money is on the under. So big bets once again on the under, Sean.
Yeah.
All right. One more. Well, let's go college hoops now, Sean. There's a bunch of college basketball games. Rather than try to run through all of them, which would be kind of monotonous and take up a lot of time. Who do you like in college hoops?
Oh, I just have one that kind of stuck out to me, and that is Creighton money line against Nebraska. I just think Creighton's the better team. You're getting plus value. Nebraska already lost to Wichita at home, so I think Creighton can win this game.
What does that mean? I'm curious.
What?
What is that? They lost to Wichita at home.
Well, they already lost the game at home. That was the first.
Maybe Wichita's better than they are.
Maybe, but I would think Creighton and Wichita is about the same.
You would think so? I think Creighton would be better than Wichita, to be honest with you.
Probably, maybe. I mean, they're equivalent. I'll take the plus value. I mean, I don't think Nebraska's all that great, and going into Nebraska ain't all that intimidating. So I'll take the plus 135.
So you can get plus 138, it looks like, is the money line right now. So looking at that game, Sean, I agree with you. I'm going to take Creighton, but I'm also going to take the 3 points. But according to the tickets, we're both on the wrong side here a little bit, because according to the money, just on the straight against the spread, about 60% of the tickets are on Nebraska, and about 2/3 of the tickets are on 2/3 of the money is on Nebraska. The game, as far as the money line is concerned, Sean, 90 cents on the dollar is backing Nebraska to win this game straight up. So you and I might be on the wrong side of things here. I'm going to take Creighton plus the 3, Sean, and let's see, what does that work out to be? Let me go find college hoops. Creighton, where's Creighton in Nebraska? Where are you at? I don't know. Let's just go. Here it is. Creighton in Nebraska, plus 3 minus. Well, you know what, Sean? I'm going to take plus 3.5 for minus 109 and hope that if they lose, it's only by 3.
There you go.
And I have one other one, Sean.
Okay.
So the other game I have tonight, and I'm not doing, I was looking for some halftime numbers today too, but it just seemed to me that there weren't enough of them at all out there.
Yeah, they're getting tough too. I'm still trying to figure out that strategy. I almost think if you do take the underdog, you take the heavy favorite the other way, and if you don't cover, You don't cover that, you cover the other way. And if you cover the halftime, a lot of times the favorite comes out and they still cover the spread. But
So you can win both ways, which can also lose both ways.
But yeah.
So Virginia heads down to Texas to face number 15 Houston, Sean. Only laying, well, they can't say laying, but they're laying 5.5 points, Sean. I have Houston winning this game. I mean, this might be a one where you want to take Houston at the halftime number because it's only 2. So if you feel like Houston's the better team, they're going to come out firing, prove a point against the ACC squad. But I'm going to go ahead and take Houston minus 5.5, Sean. I can get minus 109 for that. So for one more point, I can go from minus 109 to so 6.5. I can get plus 100. I'm just going to take them at minus 5.5. I don't want them to win by 6 and then turn a winner into a loser. So that's my other college basketball play of the evening. And as far as the tickets are concerned, Sean, let's see real quick if I'm on the right side or the wrong side of this bet. It's going to take me a second to page down to where that is in the where is it at? Probably never going to find it anyway.
There's a ton of
all right, it doesn't matter, Sean. I'm not going to waste our – here, right at the last second. So, well, 60% of the tickets are on Houston, but only 35 cents on the dollars on Houston. So, looks like I'm dumb money in both of my college basketball plays tonight.
I'll tell you what, I was looking at the over-under on that. It's 119.5. That sounds like an under to me. I mean, both of those teams want to play defense.
Well, that's the one thing I looked at is Houston's defense is stifling. And then Virginia plays at such a slow rate anyway that, if they're going to have limited possessions and if Houston can stop them more often than not, they're going to get one shot and be done. And then you're just talking about 1 or 2 baskets down the stretch to go ahead and get that number past 5.5.
Yeah.
Any NHL plays?
No,
not yet.
No, if you look at record for hockey, we should just stay away from hockey.
Well, I'm going to work on that because I have been working on it. I've been going through some of the past results, and I'm trying to find the right data sets that are predictive at a rate of about 55% or higher. So hopefully I'll have that all ironed out in the next couple days, week or so. And when I do, I'll be back with an occasional NHL play where it meets that strict criteria. So tonight, Sean, why don't you recap what you have? We agree on one, disagree on another, and then we're just on 2 completely different things elsewhere.
Yep. So we'll start off with the MAC midweek. I got Ohio plus 7.5. You're on the other side of that with Toledo.
So is Drew.
Yeah.
Right? So the 2 smart guys are on Toledo.
There you go.
One brilliant guy is on Ohio.
Over 66 on Western Michigan and Eastern Michigan. And then I got Brooklyn -3 against Golden State tonight in the NBA. And I got Creighton in college basketball at plus 138 against Nebraska.
So you got 4 picks? I have 4 picks. That's amazing. Because usually for every one I have, you have like 4. I am on the opposite side, like Sean says. I'm taking Toledo. I'm laying the 7.5. I'm in the NBA, in the association, I'm taking the Clippers laying 7.5. And then in college hoops, I'm taking Creighton plus 3.5. And then I'm taking Houston minus 5.5. So I have a mix of favorites and underdogs today, Sean.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I'm not playing the favorites.
And you don't have any totals at all.
No, which is unusual for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how many. I got to go. So I have probably like 200 games of college basketball now in the data set for this year. So now I can start to look back through it and identify some data trends that are holding up at a 55 to 60%. I'm looking for a minimum of 55% hit rate. Mm-hmm. It's going to vary, right, from time to time. But if I can get to a 55% hit rate with a certain data combination, I'll start playing those games over and over and over again. And Sean sent out, we were having some internal conversations about our line. And in the NFL, I have my highest winning percentage. And if you've listened to our show, you've heard Bill Krakenberger come on and say the NFL, forget about it. It's the toughest one. And I've heard that so many times, it scares me. Like I'm in fear of making NFL picks. And because of it, I have such a strict, I got those blinders on. If it doesn't qualify, I don't take it unless somehow Sean connives me into changing my pick. But And I have the best record doing that. So I'm going to do my best to be disciplined, Sean. I'm going to get out all those like self-help books. Stephen Covey, the seven habits of highly effective people. Here I come.
Yeah, so last night, and I've had this feeling quite often, and you say about trends, I can just go by feelings on how you feel before the game and then how you feel after the game. I thought the Rams were going to win, but I did not feel comfortable giving up 3.5 at all. And I was like, I don't know if I trust this team. And then you get you see on Facebook, 85% of the public is backing the Rams. Well, that tells you right there, go the other way quickly. And I just can't pull the trigger every time I get that feeling, but I know the feeling now that I got to start just blindly betting the other way when I know that if I'm not comfortable giving up 3.5.
I don't think you should do anything blindly going the other way. I think if you don't feel comfortable, probably the smartest thing to do is just to say, like I did, I'm not playing anything.
Well, yeah, but
I know you have to have your fix, Sean.
No. It's that feeling, though. I get that same feeling every time, and I should go the other way, but then I go, yeah, I didn't trust San Fran yesterday, and they came out.
Right. If you don't feel good about the Rams and you don't trust San Francisco, you don't have to be, you don't have to have a fix, Sean. You can go ahead and just let the game go, right? And then if you want to do something, maybe a player prop in the game that keeps you involved. But for me, I didn't have anything, but I did fantasy football, and last night I put one team in because I don't play that many lineups on the Monday night or Thursday night games because there's only really one or two combinations possible. The winner, I had the four. So the difference between me, the winner had Deebo Samuel in the flex spot as the captain. So the 1.5 points, I had Deebo. He had Cooper Kupp. I had Cooper Kupp. He had Kittle. I had Kittle. He had Garoppolo. I had Garoppolo. I had Van Jefferson, who dropped a bunch of passes, including an easy touchdown. He had Robbie Gould. I had the running back that backs up Eli Mitchell. What's his name? James Jr. or something like that. Mm-hmm. And the other guy had the 49ers defense, which scored a touchdown on that one ball that hit the Rams player as we opened up right in the middle of the chest. And somehow it ended up in the end zone the other way. I was literally 2 plays probably away from maybe winning the fantasy football last night. That is
the hard thing when you do that on a Monday or Thursday. It's literally you can tell before the game, okay, this player's got to beat this player, because usually, like you said, you guys have 1 or 2 players different.
I do my rankings, and it works out really well. I don't know this for sure, but I pretty much win money every week because I play the $3 tickets instead of the 20 because I don't want to be laying out $200 in games. But every week I make a little bit more money than I put into it every week. And I feel like if I was one of those people that had like a big unlimited budget and I could put 100 teams in, I'd end up winning one of these things for sure before too long. But I just don't have the means to do that. So since I don't have the means to do that, you can help us out a lot you can send me money. That would work. But if you have the means, you can follow us on here on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button and give us the thumbs up so we get a positive ratio. Or you can follow us on Facebook at Moneyline Madmen. Great name. Merchandise coming. And then on Twitter at Moneyline Madmen. Any other final thoughts, Sean, before we rip out of here on this Tuesday evening?
No, that's it. No, we covered a lot today. Put the picks on the site and get ready to eat dinner and watch some MAC football.
Yes, indeed, because Sean has to have his fix, baby. No McDonald's, I hope.
No, not McDonald's tonight.
All right, fantastic. All right, Sean, as always, we hope that our picks, particularly our pockets, stuff our pockets full of cash and yours as well. And then may head to the window and may all your tickets be winners, my friend. Have a great Tuesday night, everybody. Sean and I will be back in 23-3 to talk about some more MAC football. Have a great night, Sean.
You too.
Now I got to find the right button to get up and the hell out of here. There it is, right there. Boom.